Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
There is a mountain of news surrounding the Boston Red Sox right now, and here at Red Sox Focus, we are going to work through all of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. On the docket today, the Carlos Narváez situation, a pair of injury updates with very different tones, and a full recap of the Red Sox loss to the Houston Astros, which completed the sweep. There is plenty to get into, so let us get right to it. Before we do, a quick note. We went live yesterday for Garrett Crochet's start, and that is going to be a recurring feature this season. Every Crochet start, we will be live. Make sure you are subscribed because we are knocking on the door of 10,000 subscribers, and we do not want you to miss a moment of it. Now let us talk about Carlos Narváez, because this one was genuinely strange and deserves a thorough breakdown. The initial lineup card yesterday looked relatively standard. Anthony did not start. Marcelo Mayer did not start. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa was in. Masataka Yoshida was slotted as the designated hitter, but otherwise things appeared normal. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, the report started coming in that Narváez had been scratched from the starting lineup. My immediate instinct was concern about an injury, and for good reason. Narváez had sat out 2 days prior, specifically to be available and fresh for yesterday's game. If he then could not play in that game either, that would be a troubling sign, but Narváez himself clarified before first pitch that the scratch was not physical in nature. He was not injured, and that clarification, rather than putting the situation to rest, actually made it more confusing. If he is healthy and available, why is he not playing? Alex Cora addressed it before the game, though his comments did little to illuminate the actual circumstances. He acknowledged making a change, said he had spoken with Narváez, and indicated it was something he felt needed to be done for the good of the club. He noted that Wong had caught Crochet before, that it was a day-after-night game situation, and that everyone involved understood the decision. What Cora did not do, notably, was confirm or deny whether this was disciplinary in nature. He neither validated the disciplinary framing nor rejected it, which is itself a notable choice of words. When a manager has the opportunity to quickly dispel a disciplinary narrative and chooses not to, that silence tends to speak for itself. Narváez spoke after the game and kept things equally brief. He indicated he preferred to keep the details between himself and the organization, expressed that he respected the decision, and said there was nothing wrong before moving on. Both men, in their own way, said a great deal by saying very little. So what do we actually make of this? One possibility is simply that Cora looked at the matchup, weighed Wong's recent performance, and made a lineup decision that had nothing to do with anything beyond baseball. Wong has been one of the more productive hitters on this roster through the early portion of the season, and there is a legitimate argument for giving him the start. But that framing does not quite explain why neither Cora nor Narváez were willing to just say that plainly and move on. Lineup decisions happen every day in baseball. Managers explain them in 30 seconds. The fact that this one was handled with such careful, guarded language suggests there may be more beneath the surface. Cora did indicate that he expects Narváez to start Friday in the home opener, which is at least a reassuring signal that whatever occurred is not expected to have lasting consequences. A video also circulated during the game showing Cora and Narváez in what appeared to be a calm, constructive conversation in the dugout, which suggests the relationship remains functional and that this is not an irreparable situation. My honest read is that this is probably not something serious. I would be genuinely surprised if Narváez were the kind of player to create meaningful clubhouse friction. That does not match anything we know about him as a person or a professional. But I also cannot dismiss the fact that something unusual happened, that the people involved chose not to explain it, and that this organization has a pattern of low-grade drama surfacing at inopportune moments. That pattern is worth acknowledging, even if the individual incidents are ultimately minor. Cora expects him back Friday. We will monitor it from there. Now let us turn to the injury front, where the news runs the full spectrum from encouraging to genuinely concerning. On the positive side, Patrick Sandival is making meaningful progress toward a return. Per Christopher Smith, Sandival is set to begin his rehab assignment on Sunday, with the plan calling for him to throw 4 innings for the Portland Sea Dogs in their road game against the Somerset Patriots. That is a significant step forward for a pitcher who has been working his way back from surgery and whose availability this season was uncertain as recently as a few weeks ago. In terms of what his return might look like at the big league level, I do not envision him immediately competing for a rotation spot. The rotation, at least for now, has enough bodies to hold itself together, and inserting Sandival there would require something fairly drastic to happen first. What I can see, however, is a bullpen role that makes considerable sense given the current state of the relief corps. If lower-tier relievers continue to struggle, and we have seen enough early evidence to suggest some might, there is a clear opening for Sandival to provide genuine value out of that bullpen. Johan Oviedo, in particular, had a rough debut against Houston, and if he continues to struggle, the path to a Sandival call-up becomes a short one. The organization also has incentive to showcase Sandival in preparation for any potential trade conversations later in the season, which adds another layer of motivation to get him activated sooner rather than later. Sunday's rehab start is the first real checkpoint. If it goes well, a promotion timeline becomes much clearer. Unfortunately, the Triston Casas update points in the opposite direction. Casas has suffered a setback in the form of an intercostal strain on his left side, though Cora initially referenced the right side before the correct information was confirmed, and has been shut down from all hitting activity as a result. No imaging has been scheduled yet, and a clearer timeline will reportedly be provided on Friday. This is genuinely deflating news, and I want to be straightforward about that. I have been consistent in my belief that Casas has legitimate star-level upside. The ceiling is real, but the ability to reach that ceiling requires staying on the field, and Casas continues to run into significant injury obstacles at an age when players are typically building toward their best years. His commitment to the game is obvious. His work ethic is not in question. He clearly loves baseball deeply, and for someone like that to keep getting derailed by injury is just a frustrating reality to sit with. The timing compounds the frustration. Even setting aside this latest setback, Casas was not going to be ready for opening day, and even upon his initial return to health, a AAA assignment to work back into rhythm would have been the prudent path given that William Contreras has the first base and designated hitter spots locked down. There was no immediate opening for him regardless. But the difference between a player working his way back through the system on a clear path and a player who has just been shut down from swinging is significant, and this news pushes that return timeline further into uncertainty. Will Casas appear in a major league game for the Red Sox this season? I think there is a scenario, late in the year, where it is possible. But as things stand today, it is not looking particularly likely. We will have more information Friday and will update accordingly. On to the game recap, and fair warning, this one was painful to watch in stretches, and the final result did not get any easier to process. The Red Sox lost to the Houston Astros 6-4, completing the series sweep. Garrett Crochet's outing was a mixed performance that deserves a fair and nuanced read rather than a simple verdict. For a significant portion of his start, he was genuinely good. He generated swing and miss at a solid rate, recorded 7 strikeouts, and was particularly dominant in the inning preceding his exit, striking out the side with efficiency and authority. The command was largely present. He issued no walks, which was an encouraging sign. But the damage that did come was concentrated and costly. He allowed 6 hits across 5 innings, surrendered 5 runs, 4 earned, and gave up a 3-run home run to Carlos Correa that functionally ended the game at the moment it left the bat. The timing of that pitch could not have been worse. The game was tied at 2 when Correa connected, and what had been a competitive, winnable ball game became a deficit that the Red Sox offense was simply not equipped to overcome. One swing shifted the entire complexion of the contest. Out of the bullpen, Greg Weissert turned in a clean inning, which was genuinely good to see and represents exactly the kind of contribution the Red Sox need from their middle relief options. Danny Coulomb came in and allowed a run, which was less encouraging. Garrett Whitlock closed things out, and while he allowed 2 walks, he ultimately escaped without surrendering a run, which was the best possible outcome from a high-leverage perspective given that the offense had done little to create any cushion. The offense, which has been a persistent concern through the first week of the season, showed slightly more life than in recent games, but still fell well short of what is needed. 13 strikeouts on the day is not an acceptable number, and the team has now logged double-digit strikeout totals in multiple consecutive contests. 2 errors compounded the problems. Going 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position and leaving 7 men on base tells the story of a lineup that generates just enough to tease hope without ever fully capitalizing. That said, the bright spots are worth acknowledging. Yoán Moncada continues to be one of the most productive hitters on this roster, adding 2 more hits and a home run, his 3rd of the young season. The power and consistency he is bringing to the lineup is a genuine asset right now, and if he sustains this kind of production, the 30 home run projection is not unreasonable. Wong went 3 for 3 with a double and has been one of the team's most reliable offensive contributors since opening day. Jarren Duran contributed an RBI, and William Contreras added a hit and a walk, which at least demonstrated some patience at the plate. The defining moment of the offensive half, and perhaps the most bittersweet sequence of the afternoon, was Roman Anthony's pinch hit appearance in the top of the 9th. He came to the plate as a substitute for Kiner Falefa and hit a home run to the opposite field, a genuinely impressive piece of hitting from a young player on his first swing of the game. For a brief moment, it felt like the kind of ignition play that could turn a half inning into something meaningful. Instead, the next 3 hitters were retired quickly, 2 on strikeouts and 1 on a flyout, and whatever energy that home run had generated evaporated almost immediately. The Red Sox have now been swept by Houston. They have not won a game since opening day. They are 1-5, sitting among the worst records in baseball. The offensive struggles are real, the rotation is inconsistent, and the bullpen is a patchwork operation at this stage of the season. The hope now turns to Fenway Park. The Padres come to Boston for a 3-game series beginning tomorrow night, with Sonny Gray drawing the opening assignment against Michael King. That is a challenging matchup on paper. King is a very good pitcher, but Gray is capable of a quality start when he is right, and the Red Sox desperately need someone to establish momentum heading into the first homestand of the year. Saturday features Connolly early against Randy Vasquez, and Sunday brings Walker Buehler to the mound against Ranger Suarez. The pitching matchups are not overwhelmingly favorable, but this is a Padres team that has also scuffled in the early going. There is an opportunity here if the Red Sox can get their offense going in a ballpark that historically suits their profile. My prediction for the series is 1-2, a loss in the opener, another loss in the middle game, and a series finale win on Sunday. But given the way this team has performed over the first 6 games, nothing is guaranteed. Come out to the home opener if you are in the Boston area. This team needs the energy that Fenway can provide. Thank you for watching this edition of Red Sox Focus. We are extraordinarily close to 10,000 subscribers. Fewer than 40 away as of today, and we will be live again next week for Garrett Crochet's next start. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already, and we will see you tomorrow. Go Sox!
Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.